Hey guys, this is my first live I ever did. I gotta make sure I'm in view here. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Obviously, I'm not 100% prepared for this, so give me 1 second. I'm actually going to um, hmm, make sure everything's good. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Trying to actually get it on my iPad. You think it would be my first time to do this here? All right, hold on. Anyway, I'm making this live because it's October 24th, and it's pretty nice out right now. I would say it's probably, I don't know, high 50s or like low 60s. It's a little breezy out, so it kind of feels a little cooler. But tonight we're supposed to get our first, or actually, excuse me, in the morning we're supposed to get our first frost around 2 o'clock in the morning. And don't mind me, I'm trying to get this on my, trying to figure this out here. I want to make sure that I'm in view good. So anyway, I was trying to get on my iPad, but like I said, this is my first time doing a live. Um, we're supposed to get our first frost in the morning, which is October 25th, uh, tomorrow, Saturday. And it's going to hit around 2 o'clock in the morning. It's only going to be a couple hours. And a frost is different from a freeze because a frost, you could cover some of your garden, and whatever the frost could settle on is going to have that layer of low temperature that you will kill a lot of your leafy plants and different things like that. A freeze is different. A freeze goes deeper, and that one kind of kills a lot of your plants. But anyway, so I have this one raised bed here. I just wanted to use as an example, which it has. I'll give you a little close up in a second, but it has like some of my lettuces, beets, carrots, cilantro, and like I said, I was kind of unprepared for this. I should be prepared for it, but I work a lot. Um, and what I'm going to do is actually going to cover it. I'm trying to get the live feed on my iPad, make sure everything's good. Um, I'm going to try to. I'm going to show you how to. I have this half round already built. This is made out of PVC, just regular half-inch PVC. If you notice, they come in 10-foot lengths. So this garden bed's about 10 foot. I had to cut them a little bit, and it was very easy construction, and I could actually make a video about that. But some people, they don't have a PVC cover, or excuse me, a PVC frame already built. So what you could do is just use some pieces of wood and kind of stake them into the ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with a piece of poly, uh, basically plastic sheathing that you could get at Lowe's, you could get at Home Depot, Tractor Supply. If you have one of those around there, they're a little bit better, I think. The a little thicker mill, and they don't come in these humongous industrial size rolls. But anyway, so I'm going to cover this bed with the tarp real quick, and my chickens, you're going to see them running around. They're kind of usually have this fenced in. I don't know if you can see this fence right here. And I started taking it off. I'm going to pull it all the way off. I have to keep this up because actually this garden bed is what I use for the chickens. This is one of my garden beds I use to feed the chickens, and they love this lettuce. Like if I pull a piece of lettuce off, they know the sound. They all come running over here. So let me go ahead and pull this off real quick. Give me a sec. Let me just check the camera. Hopefully you guys could hear me well. But anyway, so I'm going to pull this off. Just going to roll it up because I'm going to uncover it again. Most likely I'm going to uncover this tomorrow. So this is just to get through the night. And I already have a roll of this tarp here, which I use the last couple of years. So I just keep it in good shape so I could use it over and over again. So generally with this tarp, you're going to see it's kind of big, but what I do is I actually screw it all the way around the sides and leave the ends kind of accessible, because when it gets super cold out, this is going to be on all the time, which is coming soon, the weather wise, where I just need to get to the ends. It's a little bit, I got to crawl in there a little bit to get stuff, but it's not too bad. But anyway, I do screw the sides in. Actually, let me show you. What I use is just some, they're actually just 1x3s with some, I like to use the screws for outdoor like decking because they don't rust. I learned like the regular sheetrock screws or whatever, they're really hard to get out. But I use like this regular, I don't know if you can see it here. Kind of see it here. This is just like a regular sheet, a decking screw. It has a little star head on there. But anyway, so it's a 1x3. So they're pretty inexpensive. And if you notice, it looks like it's been used. Oh, look, it has the purple paint. In some of my earlier videos, I always say, look for the purple paint when you go to Home Depot. Why pay full price when you pay 70% off? Who cares if it's bent? Because what it is, I strap this plastic over top, and then I basically pin this down and screw it in. And yes, you do screw through the plastic, but it's such a minimal hole, and it's really tight down below. It's okay. It doesn't really tear. So, and I do it basically all the way down that side, and the other side, this end and that end, I do use a piece without screws and just kind of put it there and then load some bricks up across it so I could get to it. Because there's certain days that you don't want it to be hot. I put a thermometer in there too, so I know how hot, because sometimes it could be like 30 something degrees out, and in there it could be almost like 90 something. It's pretty wild because it does get full sun. Right now, it doesn't look like it's getting full sun. It's just the time of day. It's like there's a little bit of a time where the sun's over behind a tree branch that's right over here in my neighbor's yard, and it kind of blocks the sun. But another hour from now, it's going to be over here between these trees. I don't know if you can see them, but it's going to be shining right back down on here again. But it gets the full morning sun. Let me just check the camera view. All right. Hopefully you guys could hear me well. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out. And it's nice when it's rolled because it's easy to unroll. Look at all these seeds. There's a whole bunch of seeds in here. That's funny. Anyway, it's probably it looks like cilantro seeds, but anyway, that doesn't matter right now because that's not part of the video. All right, little chicken, you're going to have to move. So what I'm going to do is, actually, this is unscripted. Pretty much unscripted and just on the fly right now because I didn't see the warning till somewhat recent. I wasn't expecting it to get that cold. This plastic might be a little noisy in the camera. I apologize if so. But anyway, oh yeah, before I cover it, give me one sec. I'm going to show you what I have in here. So in here I have some really, you want to get in there, don't you? And so do you. Anyway, in here I have some really nice romaine lettuce, still really looking good. And some Swiss chard right next to it right there. Oh boy. See, the minute I get close to this, they start going crazy. And these calendria flowers are so beautiful. They really do last good into the cooler weather. Anyway, and it looks like over in this area, like there's a whole bunch of weeds. But I actually let those grow. I don't take all the weeds out because these certain weeds are lemon balm, and the chickens actually love them. And you can notice there's a couple here and there. You can see some red beets, and also everybody knows this right here is carrots. So yeah, anyway, I have carrots in here, some beets in there, and then those over there, just sorry with the camera there, that's just flowers over there. Anyway, oh, there's some cilantro. Boy, so I don't want that to die. as well as I don't want this lettuce to die. So let me go ahead and put this camera back. So I'm gonna give you just kind of like a zoom out here. So I'm gonna just give you just somewhat of an overview of what I'm doing here. Just so if you're watching this, I'm in zone 7B, New Jersey. So if you're watching this, maybe, oh, the camera's shaking. Hold on. My apologies. So if you're in 7B, maybe you might want to think about just maybe going outside and, or maybe on the way home, just grab some plastic and throwing some over your item. You know, some of your plants are precious. All right, sorry you guys, you got to come out now. They don't like this noise, so they're going to leave really quick. Sorry if this is noisy. This is noisy, I apologize, but like I said, I'm doing this on the fly because I do have to go to work shortly. So I just want to make sure that I don't come home to a disaster. Okay. And you're probably thinking, like, how am I going to keep this on here with the wind? So that's the next thing I want to show you. These are a beautiful buy. They're aluminum, and they're actually PVC clamps. So you basically just clamp it right onto the PVC like that. Hopefully you can see that well. Let me fix this. There you go. So watch this right there. Clamp right on there. No big deal. I don't have to worry about zip ties, screws, or anything. These I suggest, honestly, with the weather and stuff, I suggest the aluminum ones. They're a little bit more expensive, but they'll last longer. So I'm gonna put one there. Okay. So anyway, I'm doing this on the fly. I'm not doing it, I'm only doing it temporary for overnight. The whole thing is I just don't want the wind to take it. I'm going to clamp a couple horizontally. The other ones I did more vertical. But anyway, I'm going to do some horizontally. And like I said, I'm just going to piece it together because I'm going to be taking this off again tomorrow. This is basically just to hold it on for the nighttime. And I'm not really worried about the ends being exposed, because the ends, it's more like what happens is with the frost, it kind of somewhat of a, I don't want to say a mist, but it's like kind of a cooler, breezy mist that comes in and just settles on like a plant like this nice zinnia. Hopefully it makes it. It probably will. It's pretty hard. This plant is very hardy. And what it does, it settles on here, and just kind of like, these are very, very cellular. So what happens is the little, you ever put basil in the refrigerator and it's too cold and it just flops down? It's because it breaks the cellular structure, and especially with frost, it freezes it and then shrinks it down, and then basically it just weakens the foliage or whatever the plant itself. you know, like green, like if you have like snap peas, the peas themselves, it's almost like if you freeze them, you take them out of the freezer. Even if you put them in the freezer for a little bit, you take them out. They're kind of like a darker wet look, almost like a ice cube look, and then they don't go back to that nice bright shiny crisp green color. You know, it's the same idea with frost. A deep freeze, when you have those, that's a totally different story. It just kind of annihilates everything. But anyway, I just wanted to make this live for you real quick, just to show you if you're, you know, up against like some kind of frost for the night. It doesn't show any frost for the next day, but that could change. You know, the weather changes very frequently. But this is something you would do. So it's going to gather the heat from the day and just hold it in there, and then once it goes past the frost for those couple hours, I think it's between 2 and 6 a.m. It handles it like a champ, almost like it didn't even. It's in a little spa right now. So going into the future, though, I'm going to show you more about kind of extending your time a little bit. Like I said, I make these videos just so you guys could learn the simple things, you know. And this is something simple because sometimes people, they don't really take precaution, and the next thing you know, they learn, and then the next year they don't let it happen again. But I'm trying to save you from that. And then, like I said, this plastic is pretty inexpensive. These clamps I got on Amazon. Just make sure you get, you know, the 1/2 inch version. Not a lot of people make a mistake and get the 1.5 inch version. It's a 1/2 inch for 1/2 inch PVC. You could use 3/4 inch PVC, but it's a little harder to bend on such a small hoop like this. But if it's something bigger, you could use 3/4 inch. But I'll go further into how I actually made this half round. It's actually pretty easy. You know, you'll be surprised like how to make this cover and make it so easy. So anyway, I got to get to work, and I just wanted to make this. So if you're just joining in now, maybe just go back to the beginning and just check out the video. You know, about how to, you know, we're having our first frost in the morning, how to kind of protect your garden. You know, like this one raised bed. And also, real quick, I have just a regular tarp I grabbed from my shed, and you can literally just take this and drape this over. I'm going to drape it over some of my fruit trees that are in pots, and like I said, I'm just going to put a couple stakes in there, so this is not really pushing really hard down on like the actual plant itself. I'll just put a couple like those green stakes in, or you could use anything you have, really, just a couple like little thin pieces of wood, and just kind of put 4 of them in there and just drape it right over. And then with this tarp, this is like a 8 foot by 8 foot. I could probably cover 2 trees, or if I wanted to cover some of my pepper plants and just kind of, you know, make them a little bit more protective. But once again, it's important to not let this sit for all those hours, you know, in the wee morning with the frost, because you'll come out and you'll be like, you know, right now I'm using this lettuce for, you know, basically I'm picking off the leaves on the outside, and it just keeps growing back, you know. And my chickens, they love it, you know. I like it too, because I make a salad. I made a little short video about that. But also I want to show you one other thing, since I have another minute. Let me just grab this. Hey, little chicken friends. See, I have a lot of these zinnias still going. You know, a lot of them are dead, but I keep cutting them off, and I still have so many more buds. I have some local bees in the area that I don't want to get rid of them, because the local bees are still, you know, going around getting honey. But anyway, I have these beautiful little, you know, kind of like still a little update. I got these little snap peas. I'm going to actually go around and pick all these because they won't make it, you know, after tonight. They'll basically, it'd be like putting these peas right into the freezer. So, and I still have some really nice tomatoes. Oh, there goes one. Let's see. Some nice tomatoes here, and my chickens love them. Now I'm gonna get I have to get my chickens out of my garden somehow. So, and I still have some really nice green peppers going here. Got a couple here, a couple there. I'm going to be picking some of these, especially this one here. I just seen this one right before I started this live. Wow, look at this cubanelle. I'm going to pick this. Actually, I'll do it right now. I have 2 of them. And I'm going to get the seeds from that and use it for next year. Beautiful plants. So I saw some peppers. Let me come over here. Sorry about the messy backyard, but it's life with busy full-time job and chickens. And let me see. Also, I'm going to grab this guy here. This is really beautiful. This is a Carmen pepper. This is really beautiful. Got some more banana peppers. Look how nice this is. So anyway, I wanted to show you this stuff just because, just so you get prepared, that's all. Nice habaneros. And let's see, do I have any more jalapenos? Yeah, I got one. This is pretty cooked, but still, I could eat that in an omelet. And then lastly, go into this section here. You see, this looks like a mess, but this is actually where I feed a lot of my chickens with, is all these different greens. Look at my marigolds still going well. And then some of these plants here, they really got eaten by the chickens. They got in here. Some nice fresh parsley. And then over here, this is what's left of this romaine lettuce. Some of it bolted down there, but the chickens don't mind. But anyway, you see all this. Most people are like, oh, all those weeds, but it's actually a good. It's a basically a ground cover. But I let the chickens in here at the end of